Until the full implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act under the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, the newly created Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, hitherto known as the Department of Petroleum Resources, was little known in the country, although the government institution have existed for decades, with the organizational mission to ensure sustainable development of Nigeria's upstream petroleum resources through effective regulatory practices, while entrenching a world-class professionalism, accountability, and transparency. The appointment of Engineer Gbenga Komolafe, a seasoned professional who has had decades of experience in the sector, coupled with vast legal experience as a lawyer, have brought the institution into more reckon with his mind-blowing innovation and performance in the industry under his watch. The SGTV crew tracked down the quintessential professional during an official visit, and he gave deep insight into the current innovations, regulations, and corporate policies that have caused the positive impact the agency is currently making, which has brought sanity, fairness, better reward, and competitiveness into the upstream petroleum industry in recent time. In the interview, Engineer Komolafe provided irrefutable account of great strides taking place in the industry and his sterling performance since assumption into office. Please stay back and enjoy the engagement.
The oil sector remains the highest, yes, even for forest for the nation. So apart from that, so we are doing everything to make sure that we are focused on increasing the national oil production and aside that, even the gas production as well, yes. So we are putting our measures in place to ensure that. And aside that, we equally have a mandate under the Petroleum Industry Act to implement the host community provisions of the PI. Okay. So that is equally another huge area because peace in the host community translates to harmonious, God bless you, to more production in terms of creating and enabling environment for production. Because without peace you can't achieve everything, yes. So there's a provision in the PI so coming on board we try to prioritize that to make sure that the provisions are implemented seamlessly. So among the priority regulations that were put in place, we have put in place the host community regulations. So as I speak, the implementation of the host community has started in earnest, yes. So Nigerians will begin to see the dividend in that respect, exactly. So we started setting up the trusts under that. Wow. So we assured Nigeria that we are going to see to effective implementation of that. So we are standing in as unbiased umpire. So the model is different. That is the model we are implementing. Is different from what the nation witnessed on unpadded and NDDC. So, but rather we are putting in place processes and control measures while we stand as umpire, like a referee. You understand, in the football match. So, watching the settler and the host trust in the implementation. So the settlers here under the law are referred to as the operators. So why the that is the host communities, they have their trustees. So we watch the interplay between the settlers and the host community. So we just set guiding rules and to govern the interplay, in a manner that abuse, you understand, does not set in mind. Yes, so we are doing that. And as part of the measures to strengthen the federation crude oil production, we are conducting bid rounds in terms of both marginal and major bids. Okay. So just last December we roll out put 7 deep offshore blocks in the market. Yes, so that itself will further strengthen the national production. So we're actually doing that on the gas side. So as part of our commitment to achieving the net zero carbon emission, as committed to by the government, in line with the energy transition. Yes, so we are equally doing everything possible to end the gas flare. Yes, the gas flare. Yes, exactly. So we are working in that respect.
That will also have a lot of impact on the environment.
Of course, you're correct. So it's a climate action program. Yes, that will have impact on the environment, and that is the major commitment of Nigeria as a nation to the net zero carbon emission. We have equally signed the methane emission regulation, and that was presented during the COP27, in Egypt, and the nation was well applauded. So we're doing quite a lot.
And some of the major challenges that the petroleum sector are facing. One, the issue of environmental degradation, and also the host community issue.
Crisis.
Because that host community crisis are really major why production level are come down. So if this organization can achieve in that area, that's when Nigerians we actually see the outstanding performance that is happening here. And it's required the media to make people to even know that it is activities that are happening here that is giving resultant effect to increased production. Because people will not be able to link settlement of host community and the operators has been done here as a reason for increased production.
There has to be a synergy between the host community and the operators.
And it will also reduce bunkering to a very large extent.
Of course, it's all part and parcel of a peace in the host community. Come to think of it, quite a number of factors could be attributed to the hostile operating environment, in the oil and gas sector. Yeah, it's part and parcel of what you determine as hostile operating environment. Exactly. So if there's crisis within the operating environment, so if there's crisis within the operating environment, definitely the operators cannot operate seamlessly. Yeah. So what we are doing through seamless implementation of the PI, the host community provisions of it, is actually to ensure that the operating environment becomes conducive. So we need to create congenial environment, operating environment. Yes, and that itself will impact favorably in the
very well.
Yes, so that's
excellent. And this is what the public need to know, especially about what's happening in this environment.
And the environmental, I think you touched briefly on the issue of environmental pollution, So what we try to do quickly on assumption of duty was to look at the priority regulations that needs to be in place. A regulator, the tool of regulation, incompressible, you understand?
Guided by law.
Of course, so the regulator does not operate arbitrarily. So our tool of operation is the regulation. So what we've quickly done on assumption of duty was to identify the priority regulations that needs to emanate, that needs to be in place from the PIA. Yes, so we made quite a number of priority regulations pursuant to the intent and the spirit of the law. Yes, so the abandonment and remediation regulation is part of it. Yes, so that will help in a way that operators in the process of the divestment or of access to not just abandon the environment and leave us to the consequences, yes. So the regulation is there to let them understand the processes of decommissioning and remediation, yes, in the case of abandonment. So that's a key regulation we have made. And another area, let's not forget that we have equally intervened, that Nigeria will soon see the impact. The fact for us is a revolutionary move is by increasing the transparency in hydrocarbon accounting. Wow. So it's an environment, it's an aspect that had not hitherto been focused. Why we'll be focusing as a nation on the aspect of the kinetic aspect of dealing with the crude oil theft. So that mainly has to do with vandals breaking the pipelines and taking the crude illegally, cooking it to produce illegal automotive gas oil, that is the AGO, and all that, yes. But there's another aspect that had never been played out and is equally significant, and that is what you call metering error. That is an industry language, you understand, they call it metering error. But this euphemism of metering error, you understand, grows to annually. It equally is in billions dollars, yes. But it's called metering error. You understand, that is looked at mechanically as inaccurate. What they're talking about is inaccurate measurement. Yes. And when you see the volume, it's very high.
At the end of the day.
Of course, yeah. So, and when we came on board, we look at that. And what has happened is that because the operators, since advent of operation in Nigeria, have been in charge of metering. They have been in charge of development of metering.
Determining what?
Of course. So it's like making them a judge in their own case. So at the end of the day, you understand what the nation suffers is what they call metering error. But we quickly identified that, and now we are going to ensure, or we've started working on that going forward, which is a revolutionary move, that the operators will no longer be in charge of metering. Rather, government should take its destiny to its hand. So we are actually looking at that.
Wow.
Yes. So that the operators will no longer have access, you understand, the total control of the metering. So what should normally happen and what has happened in other good jurisdictions, you understand, like I talk about, I talk about the situation of Saudi Aramco or ADNOC, in Abu Dhabi. If you go into their system, you find out that the regulator says like this, the way I'm watching the television, you can see everything going on in the whole well and everything. That is transparency, and that is the kind of situation we are moving to. So now government taking over all the metering, and the ones that are there will make sure it is upgraded to the right spec by the original equipment manufacturer, and the ones that are not available, the OEMs will be licensed to actually deploy it and now do e-integration. So once they do e-integration, people can sit anywhere and watch what is going on. Yeah, and that is really what we need to do as a country, both in the upstream or in the downstream. Just like this, we're talking about products being loaded and not getting to the desired destination should not really be what we should be contending with. The 21st century should not be. What should normally happen, like the example I was quoting, right from the up to downstream, somebody sits down and sees everything that is going to the last drop. You can actually see it. Yes, it's possible, so we can really do that, yes. So that's what we're working on. Yes.
It's very impressive.
Yes.
The efforts. It takes patriotism to do this at this stage, especially when operators can easily compromise regulators. But to have all this that you have stated out. It shows the sense of commitment and the leadership that are providing for the organization. And based on all, we will continue to partner with you, sir, and offer our support in that direction, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.